Hi, and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos, I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a 100% free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. These videos are unscripted and give you a chance to take a behind-the-scenes look at the methodical, unfiltered side of software development. For more information on AnyRPG, be sure to check out AnyRPG.org, where you can find documentation on the engine, links to the full source code at the official GitHub repository, and downloadable versions of the AnyRPG Engine in Unity package format, as well as copies of AnyRPG Alpha, a free game designed to showcase the features of the AnyRPG Engine. If you would like to see more of this type of content in the future, be sure to like the videos, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a message in the comments telling me what you'd like to see. In today's episode, we will be doing something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and that is adding the ability for AI characters to cast spells on hit. So to do that, what we need to do is the AI characters basically already have what we need. They have a character ability manager. So let's go take a look at that. We'll go into the engine here under scripts, and under base classes we have a character ability manager. And this is where all the code for our character to cast spells is maintained. But the real thing that is preventing us from actually using this is that NPCs can, or the cooldown individually for the spells is global. So I'm going to see if I can find an example of that code. So this is the perform ability cast, and we perform the ability, and I think it's in here. We go in and cast the spell. There we go. System Ability Manager. I have it right there. Look, fix me. Yes, exactly. That is what we need. This is where basically this needs to be just moved in here to the character. So if we look at begin ability cooldown, let's go see what that does. Right. So what this is going to do is it's going to ask the System Ability Manager to start a coroutine called Begin Ability Cooldown. And it's starting the Begin Ability Cooldown on this base ability here. And we don't want that because we don't want this ability itself to be locked out globally. Basically, we want this ability to only be locked out on the character that cast it. So, what we need to do is we have the source character here. So we need to refer to the source character, get their ability manager, and put cooldown. So we will be basically getting an instance of this class and sending it through to that. And that means that the character ability manager needs to now contain some way to keep track of those. So what we will need basically is let's see here. We'll need a dictionary. Should we do string or base ability? Let's do string, and the second parameter, basically this thing is going to keep track of coroutines. So yeah, that should be okay. And we'll call this the ability cooldown list and make it a new dictionary of string coroutine. So this will tell us if an ability is on cooldown. So what we want to do then is we want to make a way to track these things. So right here where we have a begin and ability cooldown, we need to move that over to here in the character ability manager, and then we need to make an access point for it. So begin ability cooldown isn't actually, this will be perform ability cooldown, and then we'll also want we can just make it a public void begin ability cooldown and hand it a string ability name, and let's see, what else do we need to do? So we'll call this, you know what, we'll actually pass the base ability directly in. Yeah, okay, so we'll pass in actually the base ability, because yeah, yeah, that'll work. And so when we go into the base ability, we can just pass this basically. So if source does not equal null and source dot my character ability manager does not equal null, then source dot my character ability manager dot begin ability cooldown, we have to put that into its interface. So I character ability manager, go down here and void begin ability cooldown, Okay, F to fix formatting, and let's save that. And then now we should be able to call begin ability cooldown, and we're just going to pass in this. So let's comment that out, and now basically we should no longer be initiating a global cooldown on those, or initiating a cooldown on those abilities. So next thing we need to do is go back into the character ability manager here, and now we want to actually start that coroutine. So the way that we're going to do that is to utilize that list that we just made. And let's see, so we want the ability cooldown. We actually want to get that right now. Float ability cooldown equals base ability dot ability cooldown, because we don't have access to it down here, so we're going to need it. And then remaining cooldown is fine. So I think what we can do is just go float, float remaining cooldown. We'll just put it in right here. And perform ability cooldown is I don't even think like it needs oh no, it does need its string. Okay, so we're gonna do two parameters basically. So string ability name and give it the float ability cooldown, and then that's good. So then we want to make a coroutine to track it. So coroutine equals start coroutine perform ability cooldown, and then we're going to pass in base ability dot my name and ability cooldown. The variable, I don't know why it, oh, because I spelled it wrong. Ability there, ability cooldown. Okay, there. So that will get the coroutine started, and then we need to track that basically. So we will track that coroutine by adding it to the list. So if we need to make sure the key doesn't exist, so our dictionary here is called ability cooldown list. Let's rename that to ability cooldown dictionary, because it's not a list. And so if ability cooldown dictionary dot contains key base ability dot my name, and we want to make sure that not, and then we will add it. So we want to go ability cooldown dictionary with the key of base ability dot my name equals coroutine. So now it's in there, and when we perform the ability cooldown, when we get to the end here, we would just want to make sure that we clear that item. So we'll do the same thing basically. If ability cooldown dictionary that contains key, this stuff, right here, and in this case we just need to pass in ability name, and the ability cooldown how do we null out one of those things? Let me just see. Ability cooldown dictionary dot clear. I don't think that's what we want. Remove. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Ability cooldown dictionary dot remove the ability name, and I need a capital N right there. Okay, so what this will do is at the end of it, it will remove the key. So we're going to be using that as a check in a little bit. So the remaining cooldown, which the base ability has, I believe, where is it? Around here somewhere. Remaining cooldown. Yeah, this one right here. We need to remove that variable, and I'm just going to let errors happen because I want to see everywhere that we're referring to that, like this one right here. We need all those checks to be performed instead against our character ability manager. So let's go to the I ability here and remove the my remaining cooldown property. And then let's see, let's just let Unity tell us where all the issues are. Okay. So in the character ability manager here, we have used ability dot my remaining cooldown is greater than 0. So we will change that to basically say if the ability cooldown dictionary dot contains key, used ability dot my name, then return. Whoops, used ability dot my name. There. So this is going to check basically, does our dictionary have that ability on cooldown rather than asking the ability itself, and that limits this check to the character that cast the ability. And let's see what's happening here. Okay, we need to change this one too. So let's see here. Yeah, okay, so we need to rewrite that basically. My usable is iAbility.my name, and then we need to change that condition. Okay, so monitor ability is attached to an action button, which means it only counts on the player manager. So we need to refer to the player manager.my instance.my character.my character ability manager dot my, do I have a property for that? Let me just check that. I have the ability cooldown dictionary. I do not have a property for that, so quick actions and refactorings, but still use field. Just change that back to protected. And then change this to my ability cooldown dictionary. Save that, head back to the action button. Now we can access that. Nope. Now we have to go back to iAbility, iCharacter Ability Manager, and add that to it. So like that, and just only need to say get and set. I don't think anybody actually needs to set it, but at this point it doesn't really matter too much. So now we can go my global cooldown dictionary, my ability cooldown dictionary. Right. This is a player ability manager. So the player ability manager should is that a public method? Maybe that's the issue. Yeah, protected. Whoops, that's why. Okay, yeah, it helps if it's public. Then we can see it. So, finally, my right, ability cooldown dictionary, my ability to, my usable, okay, dot my name. And this is supposed to say dot contains key. Okay, there we go. So that is our new check right there. And basically we need to do the exact same thing at the end here. So contains key ability dot my name, and remove that over there. And now we're properly checking on the action buttons against the player manager. Okay. Good. So let's save that, and let's just check what other errors we have here. So okay, this might actually require a little bit of reworking here. So basically we need to be able to interrogate the actual cooldown. And we can't really interrogate we can't really interrogate inside of a coroutine. So when we look at our character ability manager right here, And we've got this string coroutine combination. I think what we'll have to do is create basically something called a cooldown node, for lack of a better idea, which we can put in this slot here, which has a string, basically like ability name, and a coroutine and a remaining cooldown. Can't really think of a better way to do this, so yeah, we'll do it that way. So we'll go into our scripts folder here, and where's a good place to do this? Going to be base classes. Yeah, it's under here, sure. So create a new C# script, and we're just going to call it an ability cool down node. We need to put it in using AnyRPG, and then namespace AnyRPG. Put it inside there, and then we're just gonna make, let's see, a private string ability name equals string.empty, then a private coroutine, and then we need a float remaining cooldown, and that's good. So then really this isn't going to do a whole lot. This is also private. I mean, we could like just make these public, but I don't really mind doing it this way. Just adding properties for everything. I sort of like the encapsulation. So we'll just put that stuff in there. And I think we want to actually set this to null by default. Alright, and that's good. So then we need to go actually back to the iCharacter ability manager and change this. Instead of string coroutine, it's going to be string ability cooldown node, and save that, and then go into the character ability manager, change that to a ability cooldown node, change that to ability cooldown node, and then okay. Okay, that's a string ability cooldown node. Right, got to do the property for it too. Okay, so ability cooldown node, and yeah, that's better. Okay, now we're complying with the interface there. So what we want to do is make an ability cooldown node right here. So let's see. The ability cooldown node ability cooldown node equals new ability cooldown node, and then we want to set its ability name. So ability cooldown node dot my ability name equals base ability dot my name and ability cooldown node dot my coroutine equals coroutine, and then ability cooldown node dot remaining cooldown equals ability cooldown right, just ability cooldown. Okay, good. And so now we have a node and we can assign that right here. So we'll assign this to the ability cooldown node. Alright, so now what we need to do is we have now a list of coroutines, and we need to basically worry about cleaning them up when our object gets disabled. So we will have to basically create a method here, and we'll call it public void cleanup cool down routines, and for each let's see, ability cooldown node, ability cooldown node in ability cooldown dictionary dot values. If ability cooldown node does not equal ability cooldown node dot my coroutine does not equal null, then stop coroutine ability cooldown node dot my coroutine. Values? Oh, values is a property, right? Yeah, there. Okay, good. So that should go through and stop all of those. So all we need to do now is just copy this and put it somewhere, preferably in an on disable method, like right there. And we already have a cleanup coroutines method, so we're just gonna pop it in there, and that looks good. So then right here, we're not going to track this remaining cooldown here, and that's already been added to the node. So what we want to do basically is we don't even need to do that. We don't need think let's see, the best way to do that, I don't know if this is the safest or not. Basically, if we go ability cooldown dictionary, ability name dot my remaining cooldown, and we can just check like that. Yeah, actually, there's a way we can make that a little safer. We can just confirm that it dot contains key. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay, so that's good. Basically, if that key suddenly disappears, this thing's going to end. So that's a lot safer. And my remaining cooldown is like always set. Or if it isn't, it is now. So that should be good. And now that should take care of everything. So we don't need to send in the ability cooldown anymore. Let's see, actually, just a second here. We might end up with a race condition. We set the cooldown node and we start the coroutine. And yeah, maybe, I mean, we could just let it yield a single frame. Which honestly actually wouldn't be that bad, I don't think. I think that's probably like the safest solution. Because then we're guaranteed that like this, I'm not really sure whether Unity starts this asynchronously or not, basically. If it performs this first pass on the loop right away, then the dictionary will not contain the key because we haven't reached the code here that adds it yet. So we need to ensure that that it's added properly. So this will make sure that happens. I don't even know if it's going to be an issue if I'm just being like overly cautious, but we'll try that. And then let's see if Unity says there's anything else we need to fix, basically. Clear that, okay. Okay, so, right, this is on the action buttons again. And so what we want to do is get the player manager version of this. So player manager.my instance.my character.my character ability manager.my ability cooldown dictionary ability.my name my remaining cooldown. Alright, and we'll grab it out of the right place. And then let's take a look back in Unity here, and we'll see where else we have to fix it. So yeah, okay. Right, over here. So this is basically the exact same thing. Player my instance, yeah. Dot my character ability manager dot my ability cooldown dictionary dot contains key I just realized I think that last one that I put in, oh no, that's right. Okay, we're not doing a key check, right? Okay, good. No, that was safe. Dot contains key. My usable is my ability dot my name, or global cooldowns greater than 0, or player manager dot my instance dot my character ability manager dot my remaining global cooldown dictionary dot contains key, my usable dot my name. I feel like this condition is in here twice, but I'm just looking and seeing if there was a reason for that, or if I'm just misreading all the brackets and stuff here. Right. Yeah, no, specifically this is okay, because usables pass their ability thing through, whereas the character ability manager doesn't, so that should be good. Okay, and let's see any more errors. Okay, no errors. So the way that we need to test this, basically, we're going to do a really simple version of this just for the first iteration, just to keep things nice and simple and easy. So we're going to basically make our zombies have an attack, like a special attack. And the way we're going to do that is we'll go into our example prefabs directory, and we've got no, not prefabs, sorry, resources directory. And we have equipment profiles. So we have this example AI with sword profile. I'm going to create a new equipment profile for the AI, and I'm going to call it example zombie clause. And example zombie clause. And it's going to have equipment called example zombie clause. So then we need to go into our equipment folder, and we're going to make some equipment. So these are weapons, and I'm just going to copy one of these things here and make example zombie clause. example zombie clause. And let's see, do I have a claw icon? I don't. So let's make a claw icon. Why not? I like making simple ugly icons. So we'll go and load up our our XCF file. Let's see if it's on our recent list right now. Looking for magic. No. Okay. So open. There we go. No, not cohesion logo. It's in code AnyRPG magic icon. Perfect. So zoom in on that. Hold down Control to zoom. Choose. Yeah, I think I'm on the text one. Perfect. And select that and claw. So make that 17. Control Alt to center it. And export that into the icons directory and call it sample claw icon. Okay, good. And then we're going to close that down, go back into Unity, go into the engine, in the images, in the icons, import new asset, and grab the claw icon from the icons directory here, import it, and turn it into a sprite, and change that to trilinear, change that to no compression, hit apply, and then jump back down. Let's just close that to keep that a little cleaner. Then we will jump back down into the weapon and the example zombie claw, and then we can finally set our claw icon. And these are just, I'm just going to call them basically like invisible claws used by zombies to cast weakness. Because basically that's what we're doing. And we'll just set them, I don't know, common. It really doesn't matter. You know what? Let's set them to rare. Eventually, what I might do is I might, well, not might, I mean I'm going to implement automatic weapon stats based on item quality, but it doesn't do anything automatically yet at this point. So, yeah, I guess if you could buy them, they're not really a unique item. That doesn't really matter. There's no holdable object. These are invisible. They're just here to give an on-hit ability, which means they don't perform any modification or give the zombie any additional power. Although if we wanted to make the zombie like extra tough, like just give it like natural armor, we could do this basically now, because we just give him a weapon with no model. So he doesn't have an on-equip ability. He doesn't have any learned abilities from it, although that would be a really neat way of actually adding some abilities to the AI. I'm going to create the ability, like give them abilities they can cast in a very shortly upcoming episode. But for now, let's see, the default attack animation profile is just going to be none. It shouldn't change their attacks. And this is where the on-hit ability is going to be example weakness. Weapon affinity is basically unarmed, and that's pretty good. Okay, so now all we have to do is give the zombie an equipment profile, which will cause him to load this, which will cause this to become his on-hit ability, and whenever he does damage to your character with his regular punches, this should hit them. So let's go test that out, and to do that we just need to go give the equipment profile to the zombie. So that's going to be in our prefabs character AI directory, and we're going to go to example zombie unit here, and let's see, he's got a character equipment manager somewhere. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. So I need to give him an AI equipment manager, and then his equipment profile name, I just called it example zombie clause because it just contains his clause. So that should be all that's required to get our zombie to equip his invisible zombie clause to basically allow him to perform his on-hit ability. So let's save that. And we need to go into the example load game manager. And okay, there's one other thing I need to do. I have to fix the UMA issue, but I think for now, what's going to be the easiest way to do this basically? Let me see, if I go to UMA and go to, where is it here? The UMA asset bundle manager settings. And now I have a local UMA server. This is basically to try to prevent that freezing up on the load game menu. Let's just go test and see if it works. I'll know instantly the minute that I look at a character. We'll either get a message and things will go slow or not. So switch to simulation mode because local asset bundle server was off. But see, that's not accurate though. That's entirely not accurate because if we go to the window and look at the thing, it says that it's on. So I think, what do we got to do? We got to go into the UMA DCS maybe and go to the dynamic asset loader, and maybe we just have to set the remote server URL to whatever the local server is. So let's just try that. http://192.168.0.12:7888. And we'll try loading the game again and just see if we get that error message again. So play and load game, and it crashed. Okay. That's awfully interesting. Index was already downloading. At least simulation mode properly disabled that time. Okay, so let's see, let's look through some of these other settings and see if we can figure this out. Dynamically load from asset bundles. Okay. I don't know that there's anything that I can do about that. I don't see a setting like, I don't see a setting that would allow it to not do that. So basically, at this point, I think I now have to take the time to go fix UMA stuff. So what's going to be the best way to do that, basically? This exact situation is actually why I had like an extracted UMA directory before. So I think what we are going to need to do is try to put in the extracted content again. It's the only way I actually see this potentially working. So we're going to blank out all that stuff. And we have no more dynamic asset stuff. So then we can save the load game manager. I'm just going to collapse it here. And I am going to go, where did I put UMA? Right here. So under UMA, I'm going to delete UMA. And then I need to grab some content from another package basically, and to do that I'm just going to go into Unity Hub, and I'm just going to, let's see, go to the AnyRPG import test. And in the AnyRPG import test, I've got third-party content in the engine. I don't think UMA, yeah, okay. So what I want to do basically is I just want to open up the sample scene here. Then I want to go in and I want to delete the AnyRPG directory. And then I want to grab one of my backups that had the UMA content extracted. So we'll go to File, let's see, Import Package, Custom Package. And that package is located in my Unity AnyRPG Builds, Releases, Alpha 0.6 Artifacts folder. And this was the Engine UMA package. So this particular package contained the engine with the UMA stuff in it, and I just want to see if this is the one where I had the extracted asset bundle content. Because if I did, then we can have a nice build of this that doesn't have these freeze ups when we try to load the menu. So let's see here, not animation, not audio, not images, not material. bundles. You know what, I can just unselect all that and then just close these until I get to where I want to be there. So UMA extracted content, perfect. That is the only thing I want right here, is this UMA extracted content folder. Basically nothing else. So this was all of the content from the UMA asset bundles that was necessary to actually load that stuff. And just a second, extracted content package. Yeah, nothing in the package. Okay. So we're going to import all that extracted content. And then this way we don't have to run that asset bundle server. Okay, and then let's see here, just to look through this. Yeah, okay, cool. That looks about right. So then what I want to do basically is just take this entire extracted content directory, and I just want to actually export that as a Unity package. So we're going to export it. We're just going to stick it like in a, actually, yeah, this directory, sure, why not? This is just going to be called AnyRPG-extracted-UMA-content -0.6a, and we're going to save that. And then we're just going to close this copy of Unity right here. And we're going to go and, where are we here? Right here. We'll just go import package, custom package, and then grab that extracted UMA content and import all of it. Okay, and now we've got UMA extracted content, and then I'm going to create the new subfolder again, package, and then I'm just going to go to the asset store, search for UMA2, click on it, click import, and then basically it should import everything except for the stuff that I already have up there in the extracted content folder. It'll likely recognize it. Yeah, right here it recognizes that it's there. It's not going to try to re-extract it, so I can just close that, and it will extract the rest of its contents to the base directory, which is what we expect. So that looks good. Hit import. Okay, and let's open up the console and see we don't have any errors and UMA is successfully imported. So now let's see if we notice any performance difference with that load game screen. So we'll hit play in the example game manager, we'll go play, load game, and boom, instant load. What do you know? Except for these guys don't have the equipment on them. So I think, let's see, what do I need to do? I just need to go global library window. I think I need to go rebuild from project, because those things should have ended up in our global library. Well, I think it's working, because when I've tried this button before and it doesn't work, it just like finishes instantly. So I think that's good news. Maybe we'll see this list here get a little bigger. We'll sort of know, like if we have one item in the UMA wardrobe collection, then it grabbed the wardrobe collections because those are part of the asset bundles. Wow. Well, that's awfully odd. It's adding character controllers. Weird. Uh, Interesting. We still have no wardrobe collections in there. I know we used to have a wardrobe collection. Let's just try loading this and see what happens. Play, load game. No, I feel like it didn't actually add the extracted content, because this guy should have like shoulder pads on. He's level 12 and he never took them off. So let's see, if I click on those and I right click them all and I go add selected assets to UMA global library, look at that, 21 items added. Well then, that's kind of interesting. What happens if I right click on the folder and go add selected assets 0? What happens? If I go select dependencies of the folder, what does that do? Does that give me a list of everything in the folder? We'll find out when I go add selected assets to UMA global library and see what it does. 0. Okay. Let's I want to try something else here. What if I tell it to include text assets? What happens then? Well, I have my wardrobe collection now. I guess we'll find out in a minute. tell it to include text assets, it for some reason it includes every C# script in your project. But I want to see if these numbers change here. Okay, I don't think those numbers up there changed at all. Wow, and in fact we're actually back to having lost the wardrobe collection. Huh. Yeah, that's odd. Okay. So I have 483 objects selected. What happens if I go add assets to Global UMA Library again? Uh, 21 items added, okay. And then if I go UMA Global Library window, now I've got my wardrobe collection back, okay. So let's try jumping into the game again and go to play, load game. There we go. Now he's got shoulder pads and now he's got his full set of armor on. Okay, perfect. So zombie attack. I don't remember if I'm actually okay. What do we got here? We have a null reference. All right, let's see what that's all about. So where's that coming from? Reload. Okay. Huh. Okay, that was interesting. So let's try this again. We have a null reference error. And we can't get a dialogue. So we need to do something about that. This looks like a good place to go. Basically, if dialog equals null, then basically we want to do this and debug.log error, and this will be the dialog save data.myname. And we should just add something in English, basically, could not find resource. And then we're going to return, because that shouldn't happen there. So let's see what the error message is telling us there. So we're going to press play. And load game, example player, load, okay. Huh. So that's awfully interesting. I think this guy has inside of his save data some quests that were saved to his log before we finished separating the example content. And to confirm that, we can try a couple of things. First, we can try loading up this guy up here. Okay. That was a little unexpected as well. There may have been more issues with stuff added before we separated the content. Let's try something else here. Let's go into the example game manager, and we'll go to play and new game, and let's see if it starts okay. Alright, and let's see if we can get it to save. Okay, and then let's exit the game. Then we're going to hit play again, and we're going to attempt to load our newest character here. And yeah, he loads in fine. So basically, bad data. We were playing around during the creation of the package, and those guys have a bunch of stuff saved inside of them, which they shouldn't. So this really shouldn't be like a debug.log debug.log error. what's really interesting about this is that we don't do anything with this load dialog. No, we do. We set it. Okay, I get it right. So basically, what we want to do basically is we actually don't really want to do anything there. If the dialog does not equal null, then we'll set it. Otherwise, we'll just ignore it. So let's see. This is actually good because if people have bad data in their files, we want to be able to handle it gracefully. So let's go load the example load game manager again. Go to play, go to load game, load player level 5, and he loads in. Good. So I am happy with that. That means that the whole invalid quests thing was okay. And that other player, let's see, he's got some issues as well, so we want to load him up and let's see if we can figure out what he is crashing on. Okay, so which line was it here? Return get slot index dot add item. He has an invalid item in his bank or his bags from the old file save data. So we need basically to fix that. Pretty much we shouldn't be adding the item if it's null. But that's what really interesting because we do a null check right there. So apparently that item is not null. Apparently it is the slot index which is null. And that could be potentially because he had an invalid bag. So I think, like if he had an invalid bag, then that bag wouldn't be able to get loaded. And therefore, he would have no slots at that particular slot index. So I think the way around this is basically if get slots dot count is greater than 0, and get slots dot has key contains actually, all we need to do basically, because the slot index is an int, is that has to be greater than equal to the slot index. Just a second. Slot index counts at 0. Count will be 1 if slot index is 0. Count must be greater than slot index. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, okay. So then what we would do then, this is a bool, okay. So then we are going to attempt to add the item, and otherwise we are going to basically just add the item without attempting to add it to the slot index. So if we have like an invalid bag, then this is going to pop back into the first available slot in our inventory. So let's try that. So let's see, load game. I think this was the guy. Okay, there we go. So we had a whole pile of failures to add stuff because our inventories were full, but essentially that's good. Because it means that it's good because it means that this is going to do exactly what it should. And like eventually if something like this happens, what I would do is like what the Warcraft system does is just send it to like your player's mail or something like that. But we don't have mail implemented yet, so I'm totally okay with basically like losing the items because your inventory is full, because this only happens basically when there's already corrupted data. So all we're really trying to do is just prevent like null exceptions and stuff like that. So those problems are fixed now. So I think we should just go commit those because those are self-contained stuff. And we're going to add, oh, you know what? Okay, so first, actually, I'm just going to add the inventory manager by itself. So add game manager / inventory manager, and commit that with fix bad data load issues, or maybe like let's see, deal gracefully with bad data in saved inventory. manager, and basically we're going to do the same thing. So git add game manager slash resource managers slash system dialog manager, and commit that with a message deal gracefully with bad data in saved quests, and push that. And then what other stuff did we do here? We updated the ability manager and the action buttons and all that stuff. Okay, good. So this stuff is, we're just going to test to make sure this ability manager stuff is working. So the way we do that is go to play and new game, click on yes, and basically we just want to play through to the point where we get like the zombie attack quest. And like I know I actually, in my other game, I actually have a player at a place where the zombie attack is, but I want to do this in the example first, basically, because this is what people are going to be playing, because, or at least like what they're going to be testing with, because they don't have access to the source files of the full alpha stuff, because I can't redistribute it. So I want to make sure that this is making sense from the perspective of people who are playing the Unity package here. So okay, and you know what I'm going to do, like in my other game I actually have a player called Zombie Attack, and I'm actually going to like save this guy at the Zombie Attack. So, and I'll rename him as well. So let's actually just do the rename right now. Change my name, change it from player name to Zombie Attack. He will be our Zombie Attack tester. And now that I have all this stuff right here, I can go and I can kill some bunnies or not. Wow. Huh. That's an interesting error. I think this is actually, let's see, can we actually continue? Will it let us? I want to save that, and then I want to hop out because we need to fix that. So yeah, that's the issue. Okay. This should only be happening. Actually, I don't really understand. Okay, so this should only be happening if the player ability manager actually contains the key, or the remaining global cooldown is greater than 0. Right, okay, so we can technically get there with that key not being in the dictionary. So let's see. How are we going to deal with that? I guess first Control AKF to fix the formatting there. And then monitor ability. This bit right here. Let's see if my ability cooldown dictionary.contains key ability.myname. Then we'll do that. Otherwise, the remaining cooldown will be equal to the global cooldown. And hopefully that'll let us port between levels properly. So let's test that out. So to do that, we'll just go load up the character and we'll just teleport back to the example scene and then teleport back. So let's see here. Teleport to the example scene. And then teleport to the combat scene. Okay, much better. Alright, so now we can go in and just like destroy these zombies here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Or, whoops, these bunnies, that's right. Because these aren't zombies, they're bunnies. Actually, you know the funny thing? I actually could have just like given like a bunny claw to the bunnies. And we could have actually tested this with the bunnies. But I actually want, like, the bunnies are supposed to be like a weak first challenge for the player. And if we give them like abilities, it's actually going to make it hard, because when these bunnies, when you're naked, you can actually get owned by them if you're not like careful. So we got the stuff that we need for the quest. We're just going to be careful and save that. Alright, good. So let's complete that. We're just going to equip all this stuff right here. We're going to save that again. And we're going to turn that in. And I'm just going to go grab my like chests of gold here. And let's just go buy that stuff. Oh, right. No, never mind. Those are quests. Yeah, I might have to buy some of the stuff here. Let's see, storage chest complete. Look at the quest from this guy. Yeah, okay. So let's just go buy all the ingredients we need for these. So we need bluestone, birch lumber, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 iron bars. We need a bluestone, a birch wood, a polished blue gem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 flax. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. Good. And now we can just complete that quest. And then we got all those. Perfect. So we're going to accept these quests now. And we'll just go back and grab some more gold. And then grab a 20 slot bag so we have more space in our inventory. And that's good. And then we'll grab the cloth hood, the cloth robe, the gloves of hammer. How much gold do we have left? 1 gold still, not bad. Okay, and we need the cloth boots. And then we have that whole quest done. We'll grab some more gold. I need to put like 5 gold in that chest, like way more than just 1 gold. Make like a 10 gold item or something. Okay, and then we need a dragon's blade. So dragon blade. And then we need a gem enshrined staff, which is the initiate staff. So that's good. Grab some more gold. Yeah, okay. And then we just need a heavy suit of armor, so all the invisible plate stuff here. I don't know if I actually added that stuff or not. No, I didn't. So we're going to have to go make that stuff over at our anvil. So we'll just craft. We have all the ingredients that we need. Okay, good. So now I just got to go turn this quest in right here. And I am now prepared. Complete. And I finally have the zombie attack quest. Perfect. So let's just save the game. Because now there's a zombie. And we're going to go over and we're just going to test what we expect to see. Let's just turn off this stat here. Is our stats will drop to 900. We will get weakness on our bar right here. The minute the zombie attacks us. Wow, what just happened there? Hold weapons. The game is not designed to have weapon prefabs that don't have prefabs. Aha. So okay, we just need another no reference check in here. So basically, this needs to not be string.empty. given key was not present in the dictionary. Okay, just a second. Do we check that? If if current equipment dot contains key, we need, okay, so actually what we need is to check if current equipment physical objects dot contains key. Maybe. Okay. I guess let's try that. And current equipment physical objects dot contains key equipment slot dot main hand. And I think we want to do the same thing right here, basically. And current equipment physical objects dot contains key equip slot dot offhand. And also that this isn't null or string.empty, I think. Let's just go to the hold object code though and see how it deals with that. No, it deals with it gracefully, so that's fine. We'll pass it in there and we'll just let it return. So let's try that again. I guess that makes sense because I'd never given anybody a holdable object that didn't have anything to hold, and therefore there'd never been a case where the physical objects didn't have that key. Okay, let's load up zombie attack. Jump into the scene, find our zombie, run toward him, and he did it. Okay, just a second. Let's go back. I need to try that again because I want to make sure of something here. Oh, and another null reference. Wow, okay. Yeah, I see. I need to perform the exact same check right here. Current equipment. Yeah, this one. So we'll just copy that. And current equipment physical objects dot contains key slot dot main hand, and then for the bottom one we're gonna need to do that there. And so just add a null reference check right there as well. And now we should be okay for the sheathing. So that's good. so let's try that again. We'll go to play, load game, zombie attack, load game. We want to run into the combat zone. We want to go over here, and I'm going to watch the hit points this time. Basically, do we go from 1,000 to 900 the minute that he hits us? No, we don't. Okay. I think I know why. I believe we have some more code to move from the player equipment manager down to the character equipment manager. So what we want to do is go to implementation, and we'll see the player equipment manager here somewhere. Let's take a look at what we're overriding. Okay, maybe it's in another function. So let's see here. On equipment changed. The player ability manager, I believe, is actually the culprit here. If we go to character ability manager and go find all references and look at the player ability manager, I believe here, yeah, there we go. We're subscribing to the on equipment changed, and this allows beginning the ability, learning the ability, and unlearning the ability. There's another piece of code I need to find that adds the on hit ability. So that's where is that located? I need to find where that's located. So I guess first of all, let's just go back and move that code that I just identified. Down into the character ability manager. So Control X, and then from player ability manager we will go down to character ability manager. And then let's see. This right here. We're subscribing to the system event manager's version of on equipment changed. But I don't think we need to be doing that anymore. I think we need to be subscribing to our equipment manager. manager's version of that. Okay, so let's just go to the definition of that. And figure out what triggers that. This is from a notify on equipment changed. And who calls that? The player equipment manager. Okay. And who listens to it? Let's figure that out. So if we find all references, the combat is listening to it. And what's the combat going to do when it hears it? It's going to add some sound effects. So yeah, that's something that only applies to the player. Okay, so we still kind of do want that for now, I guess. Yeah, and we want this like UMA change stuff. All right, so basically, yeah, that's got to be there. Let's see. Our character ability manager should still be subscribing to the character equipment manager's on equipment changed method anyway. So that should probably happen in the start method. So let's see, basically this kind of stuff right here. So if base character does not equal null and base character dot my character equipment manager does not equal null, then base character dot my character equipment manager dot on equipment changed plus equals on equipment changed. Right. This needs to be renamed to handle equipment changed, because that's what it does. Yeah. Okay. And then we want to basically do the same thing down here and just unsubscribe. Alright. However, that still doesn't impact the on-hit ability, so let's go figure out where that on-hit ability is being set, and so that's in the character combat. on hit ability right here. So we'll find all references to that and figure out where it's being set. There. Right, okay. Player combat is subscribing to on equipment changed event. This, okay. So let's see. This should actually be handle equipment changed for one. And for two, we need to push this stuff, or some of it, just some of it, down into the base. So, how are we going to do this? First, is this the only place that this gets called? No, it can be called there. And here we're subscribing to the System Event Manager's version of this. But what I think we actually want to be subscribing to is our Character Equipment Manager's version of it. Okay, so we got basically like a bunch of stuff to do here. First, we want to take this. We want to go down into the character combat. And we just want to make sure we don't have any on equipment changed methods like down in here. Or handle equipment changed, basically. I don't think we do. Yeah, okay, good. So we want to control AKF to fix the formatting, and then we're gonna put a handle equipment changed method in here. We're not going to attempt regen, because this is like a player only thing. I might change my mind on that. We are not going to mess with sound effects. And just for now, I'm just commenting out everything. We'll go through and maybe delete these later, but that looks good. So good. That will handle it. So then we want to go up into the player combat. And let's see, where's that handle? Equipment changed, on equipment changed, there. So this needs to be renamed to handle equipment changed. Right, and this should be actually an override, and in our base this should be a virtual. And we did basically this stuff down there already in the base. So we're going to comment that out and allow it to do just the player stuff just for now. And okay, that we already do in the base. So I think the best thing to do is actually going to be just do the base one first here. New item and old item. Okay, so now we're going to call the base method. It's going to go through set the on hit ability, then we do the sound effects and the attempt regen. Good. So now NPCs should learn abilities. They're not going to be able to cast them yet, but they'll know them. We'll add AI for that in another episode. And NPCs will now be able to get the on-hit abilities, theoretically. The one thing that we need to do, though, this is getting called here. And so we need this basically to subscribe and get that method called. Yeah, okay, so this, you know what, maybe we won't even have this call the base. Maybe like this will be a completely different method actually, because basically character combat needs to subscribe and receive this directly from character equipment manager. So I guess we should do that right here. So base, if base character does not equal null, and base character.my character equipment manager does not equal null, then base character.my character equipment manager dot on equipment changed plus equals handle equipment changed, and then clean that up in the cleanup event references. Okay, good. So basically based on this, our player combat does not need to handle that. Yeah, okay. Because our player combat basically has a different way of getting this information, which, let's see, this I believe is actually subscribed to something, isn't it? No, it isn't. Huh. Is this used at all? Final references. No references. Well then, why would I keep a method around that has no references? Okay, that makes things a little cleaner. So this one right here is subscribed to the system event manager, but does it need to be? No, not really. There's no reason for it to be. It should be subscribed. I'm just going to like base hidden intentionally. Okay. So then, like, basically we should be able to subscribe to the base characters version of that. So if base character does not equal null and base character dot my character equipment manager does not equal null, then base character dot my character equipment manager dot on equipment changed plus equals handle equipment changed. And now we don't need to be subscribed to the system event manager version of that. And then when we clean up the references, we also don't need to unsub from the system event manager. We will unsub from our base characters version of that. Okay. So now the character combat will properly subscribe so that AIs can get the stuff they need to, and the player combat will separately subscribe with its own thing. It's fine that it overrides and hides that other method because this will be subscribed to that method individually. So it should work. Maybe. Let's find out. So now we can go back into character load game manager. Yeah, okay. Let's just save everything. Press play. Play. Load game. Zombie attack. Load. Teleport. Okay, 1,000 hit points. Ah, no. Okay. Well, what's going on now? Our zombie apparently our zombie did not get the memo. So, character ability manager. So is it like the character equipment manager is just not sending out the event? Okay, let's see. We need to somehow debug this. So let's actually start with our example zombie clause. Okay, the on-hit ability is example weakness. Just a second. Example weakness needs to be usable without learning. I am willing to bet that might have been the issue. So essentially, you're going to fail to cast this thing if you haven't actually learned it, and technically the zombie hasn't actually learned the ability. If you look at other on-hit abilities, like the rune sword on-hit, it's usable without learning. And in fact, it can simultaneous cast and ignore global cooldown. We should probably actually even do that. What I should actually do is make a special ability called Zombie Weakness that has all of these set on it. And in fact, well, let's actually just set them all on example weakness for now. And if it works properly, we can always make like a special zombie example weakness ability. So for now, let's try that out. Hopefully that was just a configuration issue and not an issue with the code. If not, we can start debugging. So load game, zombie attack load. Alright, and run into the level. Turn toward our zombie here. Get in our zombie's aggro range and watch our hit points. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Max HP 890. And you can see basically we have example weakness, all stats reduced by 10%. Yeah. Okay. Our NPCs can now cast abilities on you via their on-hit attacks. And this purple thing here is the example weakness on us. Alright, I am so stoked about that. I can right click on it and remove it. It's kind of cheap. You'll see he'll just reapply it every time he hits me. That is so rad. Okay, so that was basically part one of add AI spellcast abilities. AIs can now cast. I'm so happy about that. So we're going to add in the next video the ability for AIs to have like actually casting not just on hit, but basically going through all of the abilities that they've learned and actually starting to use them. Not with much intelligence. I think for now it's just going to be like they'll just cast it if they're in range or something. But yeah, we'll do that in the next video, and we'll actually start to see like even more cool abilities. I'm going to give the Skeleton Slayers life tether, because the Skeleton Slayers have like a really cool animation. Actually, let's just take a look at that here, because that's no, Skeleton Slayer. So if we look at the Skeleton Slayer model, no, let's go into the Skeleton Slayer import folder here and animations. Okay, skill, this one right here. Yeah, this one. So he does this skill right here, right? He's got like a casting spell animation. Boom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the life tether out of his chest when he does that. So that is what we're going to add in the next episode, the ability to have our Skeleton Slayers actually shoot life tether, and then we'll have two undead mobs that can cast abilities in two different ways to have them do that. So if you like this type of content, then don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a message in the comments telling me what you would like to see. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.